Most traders are losing. That used to be me, and it might be you too right now. Together we can solve this problem, and the solution is all right here. There are blind spots that most people completely overlook in their trading. They keep you from having the kind of profits that you are really working for from your trading. And these limiting beliefs, they're very common. And once you figure out what they are, your trading becomes a lot easier, actually effortless, I discovered. But let's face it, the odds of success are really stacked against you. I'll show you that data. But let me explain what I mean first. Anyone who thinks they can make money trading needs to be aware that about 80 to 90% of people trying to do this will lose. Net losses over time. You probably get bombarded by stories of success, though. People trying to sell you something. They want you to believe that trading is easy. It'll be profitable from the beginning. Just buy this or buy that. Do what I do. Or this software does all the thinking for you. Many people fall for that. And I'm sure you've seen all those offers as well. But I'm not going to talk to you like that. I do have something to offer you of real value. What I'm going to tell you is how things really are stacked against you. A big clue to why that is and what it takes to beat those odds. And when you see all this, it'll make total sense. And almost no one is ever going to tell you this information, so please listen closely. Let's talk about the 10 to 20% of traders, though, who are regularly successful. Even some of these people are not consciously aware of the facts I'm going to share with you. You don't necessarily need to be aware to win. But when you are aware of these issues, it is much easier to do what you need to do. Now, does that make sense? This is what is known as a paradigm shift. You know, it used to be everyone believed the world was flat. So who's going to try to sail around the world? But you can sail around the world because the world is not flat, even though people used to believe it was. You can still sail around the world if you want. But what are the chances you would really try if you believed the earth was flat? If you were aware the world was round, now you can believe that sailing around the world is possible, and more importantly, what you would expect to happen for you if you kept sailing in one direction. Trading is a lot like this. People believe things about the trading world that are simply not true, and they don't even know there is something different that they could be doing. You don't have to have what is known as a limiting belief anymore. You can make a paradigm shift in your trading. You can think differently than the majority. And more importantly, you can beat them with that knowledge. Very briefly, though, let's take a minute and think this through. Most people act on emotion. Human nature is always the same. Greed and fear is embedded in trading. It always has been, always will be, affecting thoughts, affecting behavior. So how do we observe it? How can we exploit it? For starters, losses create pain. Losses create an urge to action to get rid of the pain. When someone is in a trade and they lose, they're forced to liquidate. Emotionally, they can't deal with it. And the pain of losing over and over and over makes people try to avoid losses instead of accepting losses as a normal part of trading. So they start to behave certain ways to lessen their pain. So in other words, they're seeking to avoid losing. They are in fact setting themselves up for more losses, and their loss is our opportunity. Their pain is our gain. See, my trading approach is all about how to profit and make money from this situation. Remember, trading is a zero-sum game. The money you make comes from the accounts of other traders who are losing. You have to find ways to take their money. Now that comes from doing things and focusing on things that losing traders don't do. And here are some of the facts. This is not my opinion. This is facts. On almost every Forex broker website, you will see they have disclaimers and disclosures. Close to around 80%, sometimes more, of people are losing trying to trade. That's their customers. It's not opinion. That's what their customers have handed themselves. Losses, almost all of them. And next, I'm going to tell you the most important factor to your success so you can exploit that. And if you get this right, the rest takes care of itself. So most losing traders focus on something called their win percentage. Most people are focusing on how to get in at the right time. They want to win and raise the percentage of winning trades. They want to get like 55, 65, 75% winning trades. They think that's what it's all about. That's how you make money. Now, we just talked about the key to success is to do things differently than the losing traders. Most people are losing every day, and that loss creates pain and pressure to liquidate. And I told you I will give you the biggest factor to your success. In a minute, I'm going to do that. But let me show you something that will open your eyes and remove any doubt about it. Most traders focus on how to get in. They want to win. They don't want to lose, and they think if they can figure out how to up that percentage, get in at the right time all the time, that'll solve the problem. Well, spoiler alert, it won't. Most traders focus on winning percentage. If they can get that win percent higher, they're going to have all the success they've been waiting for. And that sounds really reasonable on the first level. But there are a lot of things that sound reasonable in trading that will lead you to failure. And there are a lot of illusions. And there are a lot of people making a killing perpetrating those illusions by selling tools and analysis to people hoping they can study their way to success. Traders hoping to figure out systems or charts or numbers that can take the pain of losing away. They believe something like this in their head. All I have to do is follow, X. I don't have to think about the pain anymore. They focus on anything they believe will help them get that win percentage up. But are we really in a competition that pays us if we get our win percentage up? Nope, we are not. What we really need is to focus on our profit ratio. Now, earlier I showed you how the vast majority of people are losing. And many of these are smart, educated people with lots of disposable income. If you saw the demographics, you would see that the average person trading is not really average at all. Your competition is often intelligent people for the most part. The problem isn't intelligence, and the solution is not to outsmart someone. Right now, I'm giving you the key on where to put your focus. The place that puts the odds in your favor and how the pros really do this. It's the most significant thing that a pro does to beat the loser, and it's easy to do. Look at these statistics. You will see for yourself how percentage win is not really the key to success. And you see this is data from millions of trades done over more than a year at this brokerage house. What it shows you is that even though people on average did have a winning trade percentage that was really good, 65, 75% in some of these pairs, but they still lost the game in the long run. So how is it that 80, 90, 95% of people are still losing even though they're winning more often than they lose? How's that possible? Well, think for a minute for yourself. Did you figure it out yet? They're simply losing more on the losses than they gain on their winners. That's it. This is the other half of the picture that tells us that the biggest factor in our success. And based on my almost 40 years of trading full time, I can assure you this is exactly it. It is your profit ratio. You have to take more money out from your winners than you lose on your losers. And in the data I just showed you, what do they have? They have it the other way around. They're losing twice as much money on their losing trades than they win back on their winning trades. So even though they're winning at a high percent level, these traders can't pay for their losses. This is millions of trades, hundreds of thousands of people trading at a big, big multinational, international firm. You have to flip that around to be successful. You need a trading strategy that will give you twice or 2 times your losses. That's the real bottom line. All of the study on how to get in at the right perfect moment and increasing your win percentage is meaningless if you don't have a 2-for-1 profit ratio. Profit ratio is the biggest factor to your success. When it's all said and done, you have to have a winning profit ratio. So how do you do that? Well, let me tell you how it begins to happen. First, Why do most traders want to get out fast? We talked about how 80 to 90% of people are losing. We talked about how to win. We have to take the other side of these losing traders. We have to do things differently than the losers. We have to focus on things they don't focus on. And the pain of loss is the key to unraveling this. You saw how that even though many traders can have a positive win percentage, winning more often than not, it doesn't matter. They still lose because they don't have a winning profit ratio. And there's two pieces to this ratio. You have a numerator, which is the top number, and the denominator on the bottom. There's a profit on top, losses on the bottom. Your average profit needs to be at least 2 times bigger than your average loss. So your number on top, your winner, has to be greater than your number on the bottom by at least a factor of 2. Just knowing this is going to help you get on the right track. Now, there are a lot of ways to work on this side of the equation. Once you stop trying to analyze and predict prices and all that happy BS, which is what losers focus on the most, you can spend your time on how do I improve my profit ratio? So the simple thing is to first look at the denominator. You can totally control the denominator, the bottom number, right? The bottom is your losses. You can stop your losses. So you must have a good plan for controlling your losses. Set your stops at a small enough amount on your account. Keep losses small. That's simple enough. And we go into greater detail on this in the course content. But the other half is bigger profits. So how do we do that? Well, bigger profits are something that comes from a lot of things. And the rest of this training is going to give you those key pieces. But really, the bottom line is all you need to remember now is that losers are losing twice what they win. You want to flip that around. You want to win 2 times more than you lose. So how do you do that? Holding winners is the key to that. Now, this isn't something you haven't heard before. You've heard this before. Hold your winners, cut your losses. So if everyone has heard this before, why aren't people able to do it? Well, this goes back to the pain of losing we were discussing before. Traders have so much pain from losing, and they're always looking for ways to avoid losing. So they redefine losing in terms of winning. Really, what is the most painful kind of situation? Sometimes you get in, and things never go your way, and you get a loss. That does not feel good. But you already know what feels worse, don't you? When things go your way, you're winning, feeling great, but things change, and this winner become a loser. It's like taking candy from a baby. You know, this is a really emotionally negative experience. If you never had the candy, it's not as bad as having the candy and then having it taken away. See, traders fear letting a winner turn into a loser almost more than having a loss. One thing that losers do more than anything else is cut their profits short. They don't want the pain of a winner going to a loser. So as soon as they start making money, they want to take it off the table. They don't let their winners run. That's the bottom line. And there are a lot of other things that go into this, but in the series, we're going to focus on the biggest ones that will help you right now to change your focus, change your behavior. This one skill alone will dramatically change your results. Losing traders lose more money than they win. They want to avoid pain. They aren't thinking about the profit ratio, only the win percentage. The net result, they cut their profit short. So how do the winners hold their winners? How do winning traders do things different? We talked about how reasonable thinking and the illusions they create lead to failure. This idea that I'll jump in, take a small profit, jump out is a reasonable thought, but it is an illusion and it leads to failure. We don't make money by jumping out of our winners. We don't cut profits short that way. We manage our trades and we hold them as long as possible. And I told you the most significant thing that pros do differently to take money from the losers was coming. And here it is. The most significant thing that pros do to take money from the losers is waiting out the loser. Holding that winner. Just hold it. Once you see things clearly, you see the patterns and you know what people are going to do next. And you learn to focus on the profit ratio. You focus on holding your winners, cutting your losers. You know your opponent, the losing trader. He's going to cut his winners short. He's going to liquidate from his pain of fear of loss. So let him do that. Just wait him out. And this is why trends persist. The losing trader on the shorter time frame gets in and then gets out right away. So he actually perpetuates the trend that the professional winner traders focus on. The big profits come from holding winners on a longer time frame trend. So once it starts working, the winner just sits on it, doesn't do anything. Literally, just waits out the loser. And let me ask you a question. What do you think is better than holding the winners? I'll tell you what's better. Adding to winners. If you don't hold your trades long enough, you can't win. But one thing that will help you win faster than anything else you could do is simply add to your winning trades as you hold them. When you're on a big trend, which can happen at any time, you want to hold your winners. But you also want to add to your winners because doing this is a big factor to your profit ratio. When you find a solid way to do this without increasing your risk, you will see over time that this can explode your positive results exponentially. Ask yourself this. Imagine what happens if you get into a 6-month or a 1-year trend and you add to it a handful of times on the way. What does that look like to your account? See, if losers are getting out early because they're scared, losers are reacting to losses with fear and pain. If that's what's happening, then losers aren't holding their winners or adding to them. Well, where's that coming from? Well, in my opinion, it's all a natural response. In fact, it's human nature. Human nature never changes. That's why the markets will always be there, and these strategies continually work. Everything is based on the unchanging human nature when it comes to trading. Greed and fear create the same effect on how the majority of people react to situations. So how do you overcome human nature? How do you gain the perspective to see beyond this immediate situation? How do you get a winning strategy that takes advantage of this opportunity, exploits it for profit in the zero-sum market environment? Imagine gaining this confidence in your trading. Imagine knowing you will be a net winning trader in the long term. How would that be for you personally? Ask yourself, what would change in your life? What could you do if you were a net winning trader that you can't do now? What would it mean for people that depend on you? How would it affect their future? Most people would say they trade to make money, but I don't think that's really the point. It's what does that money do for you and those you care about. That's the point. If you're losing money from your trading, we know that needs to change, because when it changes, you can dramatically affect yourself and those you care about. A pattern of losses in a leveraged account is devastating, but a pattern of wins and leveraged winning can change your life. I know from experience, and I have seen it in others too. So back to this question, what can we do to counteract this problem? How do we get on the right side and stay on the right side? The answer is simply a proven edge, your proven edge, the one you have personally tested. You've proven that edge to yourself. You do a lot of trades, so you document everything you do. In my course, we have a very robust documentation process that we go through to help traders identify where the gaps are between what they intended to do and what really happened. And more importantly, what could have happened if they had just followed through on their rules. You only get that level of confidence by documenting and reviewing your trading. It helps you with goals and staying on course. The difference in your mental ability to focus will be greater having done this process of proving to yourself that your edge will really work. And to help you start, I give you my edges in the course. And I know they work for me, but you're still going to prove them out to yourself to see them work for you. There's a psychological factor to trading that's often overlooked. This is something you can do to prevent falling into the same loser traps others do. Over time, you find ways to improve your performance. It's from record keeping. Trading is a business. Treating it like a business means having a plan, following the plan, documenting your results, reviewing those results for places to improve. You will see how this leads to improvements and clarity and proves your edge. And the other half of this confidence comes from trading with house money, meaning once you get to the point you've doubled your account, you can take your own money back home, the money you first deposited. The emotional strength that comes from that is a whole nother level of confidence. Now, since you stayed with me to the end of this, it seems you're serious about learning, serious about making this needed change. I hope you take advantage of what I'm offering to help you with. And to help you make that first step to get started, there is a way to get a discount on the course with a coupon code, which should be available to you now. And that code will be gone on February 28th, 2023. So if you're seeing this after that date, I can only ask you to follow through in the footsteps of those ahead of you and get started anyway. Besides, our goal is to permanently alter your performance in the markets. And you really can't put a price on that because who knows how far you could go if you were a net winning trader. So let's recap what we've learned. Focus on profit ratio instead of winning percentage. Learn how to hold your winners. Holding your winners takes looking at the longer time frames. When you are holding your winners on longer time frames, you can add to your winners to boost your profit ratio when you find a longer term trend. The pros, they just wait out the losers, get out of the way. They have the confidence to do that because they have a proven trading edge they know works. That's how you outtrade your opponent. That is how you stay focused. And careful documentation and review is how you can optimize your performance. So I hope by now you see how important these components are to your lasting trading success. You can use this in your trading right now and see how they improve things for you. And if you don't want to go it alone, though, and if you want my help, if you really want to know how to do this well, all of that is in the course and much, much more. In the course, I can show you how to see all of these issues more clearly and apply them more easily with specifics that you can use for yourself. And in the workshops, I can answer your specific questions and walk you through real-life examples specific to you. You're going to work personally with me. I'm investing my time in this to do these workshops because they're interactive. And since they're interactive, I have to keep the audience manageable. So this is a small group of people that can get in at any one time. So attendance is limited to start. For those who do attend, there are 3 months of access to workshops included with the course. I'll provide workshops several times a week because I think it's so important for my students to get this. The workshops really help make this all become very clear to you. Now, if you've read my books, you have learned a lot of the concept and insights to trading, but this course is really the practical side of those concepts and insights. Plus, a lot of the things shared here in the course aren't in the books. The reality is you don't need all of that conceptual stuff and background to be successful. You just need to find yourself an edge and use it. And that's all you really need. Some people have just one edge and they make a good living from it. I'm going to give you 3 of mine in this course, so I'm confident you can do this. Remember, the markets have unlimited opportunity for you. All you have to do is fix a few things and focus on doing the right things. And that is what I've found over the years in my own one-on-one coaching and training of other traders. A lot of dramatic results have happened from just 1 or 2 small changes. You know, if you only knew what those changes needed to be. See, most people don't know what they don't know. So you need to know what those changes need to be. Once you find them and fix them, for many students, it's like flipping a switch to go from a net loser to a net winner like overnight. So I hope to see you on the inside. If you see the course is closed, just join the wait list for the next available sessions. Thank you for listening. Good luck and good trading. Hope to see you on the inside.